Hey, what is up, guys? It is Slick or Slickmuff here, back again with another video. And in this one, we're going to be talking about Geoff Ellenor's tweet, the game director over at WB Games Montreal, with some really positive and reassuring news regarding the status of their DC video game. Geoff Ellenor says the following, and I quote, "Sometimes it sucks that I can't talk about my work, but today was a good day. This game is looking really good." So this is obviously reassuring for a number of reasons. First of all, we have an update that the game is still in production. As many of you know, if you've been following this channel for a few years, WB Games Montreal has had a bit of a history with game cancellations in the past couple years in particular. One of the game developers that works at WB Games Montreal has actually discussed that 3 of his games that he's been working on at the studio have been canceled, and we do know that one of those games was a Suicide Squad game. And there were some leaks around that about what the game actually was. Like, evidently, the leak said that the transversal system wasn't working very well or what have you. And I don't know if all of that's true, but we are pretty certain because other industry insiders, like Jason Schreier and other people did leak and report that they were making a Suicide Squad game. The next game that they were working on and eventually canceled was a Damian Wayne Batman video game, which I've discussed ad nauseum on this channel, so I won't get into that anymore because it doesn't exist, so there's no point. But anyway, here's the thing, is that we haven't really had an update on the status of the game. We haven't known, is the game still in production? They kind of have slowed down the teasing. They were really teasing the Court of Owls and the whole Redacted campaign, which started in late 2018. It's now April, so about 6 months later from that, and we haven't really had any sort of forward progression of that campaign. I thought it was going to kind of escalate slowly over a 6-month period to lead up to a game reveal and launch. However, they haven't really done that. And here's the thing, is that this tweet is sort of, I think, the first stepping stone towards a reveal. I think that the game is probably not going to release this year, and I know that's sad to hear, but I don't necessarily see him tweeting in such abstract terms about the game going well and that the game is looking good. However, we do know that there is a game, right? And I don't mean that like facetiously. It is very reassuring that we're getting an update on the status of the game, that the game is looking solid, it's playable most likely. Like, there's some playable model of the game because it wouldn't really look good if you couldn't actually play it. So my point being is that the game is reasonably far along in production. How far, we can't say, but of course, this is a really reassuring sign. And I don't want to be too negative about the 2019 thing. I just want to make sure our hopes and expectations are realigned to the fact that the teasing has slowed down. If there was a upward trajectory or an exponential growth in the amount of teasing that they were doing and more developers were getting involved in the Redacted campaign, then I would say, well, maybe E3 super likely. However, it could also be their strategy to go dark before reveal. That's certainly a possibility. But if I'm being honest, E3 is the last hope for the game to be launched in 2019. If we get a trailer at E3, there is the possibility that the game comes out in late 2019, but I don't know how many years I've said there's a possibility that there's a possibility. So I don't really get in the business of speculating anymore about when we can expect things or like making predictions, because in my experience, like, it's just a little bit unpredictable. And when you have those types of expectations, all you're setting up for is failure and demise and sadness. There was a really funny comment in my video yesterday, which got great support, by the way. Thank you, everybody that watched it. One of the comments was like, if you have no expectations, then you'll never be disappointed. And that's kind of the direction that I'm taking this game. But the problem is that externally I say, oh, I don't have any expectations. But internally I'm like, oh, I really hope this game comes out in 2019. So it's easy for me to say and pretend like I don't have expectations for the game to come out in 2019, but I kind of do internally, just because of how long it's been and how antsy I've been for the game. I'm really excited for it, though. I'm really, really reassured by what Geoff has said here, and it's great to see that the game is making forward progress. I would like to see some more devs get involved in that Redacted campaign and talking about the progress of the game as well, being a little bit more transparent about the game development process, and also leading up to a CGI trailer launch at E3. I think that, the wait has been pretty substantial at this point, so, launching a CGI trailer would be a great move. I understand why they did not in the past, and the reason is because they clearly were unsure if the game was ever going to get published. And for the Suicide Squad game and the Batman game, that is the case, that they were canceled, the Damian Wayne Batman game and the Suicide Squad game. So in some way, it's not great if you launch a CGI trailer for a game and get everyone excited with an official announcement, and then the game is canceled. However, this game, it doesn't seem that it's any reasonable possibility that the game will be canceled. As Geoff is saying, the game is making great progress. The development's going along smoothly, and the game will eventually be published. And as such, it's best to confirm it as quickly as possible, even if you launch the trailer at E3 and say, hey, this game actually isn't coming out until 2020. At least we have some concrete direction of where the studio and where the games are going. I think that's within the studio's best interest, but, what am I to say? I'm not a marketing person or whatever. But just because those games were announced, those 2 DC games were announced several years ago, like 4, maybe 5 years ago, and we still don't have a CGI trailer. I sound like a little bit of a broken record at this point, but I think it would be great sort of service to the fans, and I think that fans are not upset that their games were canceled. If anything, we respect that they have high standards of what the game should actually be. It's disappointing that we didn't get those games, those Suicide Squad games, that Batman game. But we also appreciate that WB has some standard to their brand, that if the game is not going very well, that they will cancel the game. And a lot of studios aren't like that, A lot of times, like with Call of Duty, there is no option because they have to release a game every year, of course. So that's not really an opportunity. That's not a choice. You have to release the game every year. And with the WB brand and the DC Games brand, it's clear that they're not coming from that sort of, position. They're not just going to release a game because they need to, because it's profitable to do so. However, it has been a long wait for fans, and I think that it would be within their best interest to release the trailer at E3, but we'll see how it goes. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and if you did, of course, give it a thumbs up. What did you guys think about this commentary? Let me know all of your thoughts on the game development process over at WB Games Montreal, and when we can expect their game. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a thumbs up if you did. My name is Slickmoff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.